So what does it all mean for a possible indictment? Sharon Crowley live in the studio for us with the latest on this. Sharon.
Yeah, Teresa and Steve, it's looking like next week would be the earliest the grand jury would vote on whether or not to indict former President Donald Trump. So the waiting game outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan goes on as it did earlier today.
A Manhattan grand jury is still weighing whether to indict former President Donald Trump for violating campaign finance laws. He's accused of allegedly telling his then fixer, Michael Cohen, to pay adult film star Stormy Daniels to stay quiet about their affair ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Former President Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Monday was the last time the grand jury met about his case. Now it's looking like they may not take it up again until next week. The mystery and media frenzy amplified by the former president last weekend when he predicted he would be indicted Tuesday, which of course did not happen.
What we did know is that they were nearing the end of the grand jury presentation because they gave Donald Trump an opportunity to testify.
Karen Friedman Agnifilo worked in the Manhattan DA's office under former DA Cy Vance.
And now it seems like the last thing there is to do is consider a rebuttal witness.
The grand jury meets in secret, so it's impossible to know where things stand. Imran Ansari is a former prosecutor who worked in the Brooklyn DA's office.
The grand jury is going to be considering charges that are related to falsification of business records. One would be a misdemeanor, but the other one that we believe the DA is seeking would be an e-felony, and they would have to show that the falsification of those business records was in the furtherance of another crime.
District Attorney Bragg did face pressure from some Republicans not to pursue this case. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan claims it's politically motivated, and he's requesting documents related to the investigation. Bragg firing back, writing, quote, "The letter only came after Donald Trump created a false expectation that he would be arrested the next day, and his lawyers reportedly urged you to intervene." Bragg's main witness is Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. In sworn testimony given to Congress in 2019, Cohen said he made payments to Daniels at Trump's direction.
And as you might imagine, President Donald Trump reacting, former president, to the grand jury by posting his thoughts on his Truth Social site. Now, the grand jury is expected to return next week. Steve?
Well, all right, to be continued. Thanks, Sharon. And of course, stay with Fox 5 for continuing coverage of where things stand with the Trump investigation. We'll bring you the latest developments as soon as we get them.